right, where's my microphone? Hold on a second, guys. I actually, within the last couple of days, did a overhaul cleaning of everything. Um, so yeah, it it's much more open here now. Uh, so what you doing? What? You got to come right in right away and say hi. Yes. So anyway, good evening. Good evening. Uh, let's see. We got Sharon is in the house. JJ's here. Sonia, Delbert Jones, Lori's here. Umlet Design. Uh, Vicky's here. So welcome, welcome. Village Homestead is in the house. Ontario Preparedness. Rambo. Okay, I got to do this now. I love you, but you. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, right under the nose. Thank you. Yes. Okay, you got to go down. All right. So before we get started with anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate that. So, a couple things I wanted to address real quick, just to put it out there so people know. So, number one, somebody had said in an earlier video of ones that I had done, they're like, "Oh my God, it looks like you got a sunburn." Never got a sunburn. Went right to tan. I will be honest, I was a little sore on the back for a couple days. I did have one day where I said, okay, I know I got too much sun, so I stayed out of the sun the next day. Yeah, I just when I'm outside, I just if it's warm out, I don't have a shirt on. So, situation with Danny, had to have a guy come in. Obviously, you saw the video, pulled him out of there. Um, we did cover half of that cost for him. I felt like that was the right thing to do because he was trying to do what we asked him, and he said, I had a feeling that I couldn't do it. I said, man, you should have told me. I said I would have been fine with you dumping it, someplace else. I mean, it is what it is. If you can't get it there, you can't get it there. But it happens, and you live and you learn. It was a mistake, a costly one. But yeah, we did cover half of the cost of getting him out of there because, like again, it was the right thing to do. I didn't feel like he should have to eat that whole process of that. There was something else. Oh, I want to talk about the bees. So I went to my bee guy and I spoke with him, and he said what we have in that one hive, and he pulls up a picture on his phone. This guy is so smart. Pulls up a picture on his phone. He goes, "Does it look like this?" And I go, "Yes." He goes, "Hive beetles." So what he did is he gave me a couple of traps that you put like canola oil in there, and what will happen is the hive beetles will go in there and they'll drown, and that will be the end of the hive beetles. But that one hive, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to transfer the bee. Well, I got to take that one rack out where it's all slimy. I got to get that one right out of there. It's got to get out, and then I'm going to have to transfer them into a smaller box temporarily, or I have other boxes, so I may just switch them completely over into new boxes, a new box, because Bud had built a bunch of boxes, and I think I have another super available. I believe I do. So if I have another super, what I'm going to do is I got to get them out of the one that they're in. So that's got to happen, or otherwise the hive beetles will not only will kill that hive, they will go over and they will kill the other hive. So I will be putting the traps into both of the hives, and then I'll have to, just like I said, that one hive is going to have to they're going to have to start pretty much all over again. Mary, I'm right here, my dear. She goes, is PN1 late tonight? No, I'm already here. I've been here on time, but I got more coming down with me, deep and mediums. Okay. But yeah, so that, because I was like, I had no idea. I had no idea. And so, that's one of those things, again, it's a learning process, and you got to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Like I said, he's always available. He's been an awesome asset to talk to if there's an issue with anything. He can, he'll let me know. So that hive obviously is going to be behind now. So it is what it is, and we're just going to have to, try to work on that, and we're going to get, like I said, we're going to get the other, you know, um, the traps in both of them, in order that we get rid of those hive beetles. So, but just like I said again, never heard of it, didn't know nothing about it. So, but yeah, so that's what we're going to do with that, and I haven't been back out to check on the other hive since I put the second box on. So I definitely want to see how that one is doing. And but I also, like I said again, I have to put that trap. I'll put that down into the lower box. One of my uncles was a beekeeper. Well, I will be honest with you guys. It's a complete learning thing for me. A complete learning thing. So I had no idea what was going on. And he said that the queen is probably still there. So he said, look for her, make sure she's still there. And that's why there was all the issues with everything. So, but yeah, you just never know. I mean, it's just part of that process of trying to figure everything out and kind of going from there. Moving forward, I got to let you guys know I'm not sure. I may not be able to do a live stream Wednesday or Friday. And if that's the case, I may set it up and do a live stream on Thursday. I just, it's just going to depend on what I can do. I'm going to leave it up in the air, and hopefully I can. But if I can't, then I can't. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to yet. But if it comes to 8 o'clock next Wednesday, and you don't see a live stream, then you know that I wasn't able to do it. So we'll just kind of play that one by ear right now. So anyway, so there's where we're at with that. So just that's all the information. Uh, I find this amazing with YouTube. YouTube has been playing so many freaking games lately, and they removed probably in the last 2 weeks. I would say they removed 4 more videos from the channel, and all of them are old videos, folks. Nothing is a new video, and so it's a lot of content that nobody's watching anymore anyway. I mean, very rarely do people go back and go, oh, let me go look at this old stuff and see what's going on there. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So, uh, you know, like I said, rarely do people do it. So, like, once in a while, I'll get a comment on an old video. No, I haven't gotten any strikes, Okie Forge. Nope. What they're doing, see, I guess maybe because now, if it was a recent video, like this live stream, if I said something that they didn't like in this live stream, I would probably get a strike. But what they're doing, if they got people doing it or they got AIs doing it, yeah, they're shadow banning me. Absolutely. You know, um, videos are hard to find. Yeah, and that's part of what they're doing, Don. So like they're not putting my content out there. They're making it difficult for people to get into my live streams, and there's really nothing I can do about it. Now they've been doing this honestly. They've been doing this for the last 2 years. The last 2 years. Whispering Pine says, I've been unsubscribed like 5 times lately. Now, isn't that crazy? Yeah, because I know that, again, now my numbers, they were going up for a while. The channel was starting to grow again, and it was starting to pick up. And the live streams, we were having, 600 people or more in the live streams. And then all of a sudden, bam, again, right back to what they were doing before. And it's just, like I said, it's just a game. It's just a game. But, Yeah, right. Exactly, Nostradamus. I won't repeat what you said, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. But yeah, it's just I don't, like I said, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, but there's nothing that I can do, so I have to just deal with it. John McGill said I've been unsubscribed twice from a few channels, all prepping channels. Isn't that interesting? I find it really interesting that when here me, you have certain governments around the world are telling their people to prepare, get ready, have 2 weeks worth of food and water, blah 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 blah, right? I think Sweden would be one of those, and I think there was another one too, and I can't remember which one it was. But there's a couple of different countries, democratic or more democratic run countries, that are telling their people, make sure you. The UK did as well, JJ. Okay, they're telling their people to get ready. Are they telling us here in the United States to get ready? Nope, nope, not telling nobody nothing at all. So, um, hey, Philip, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. So yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not tell us nothing. And then when we have prepping channels and we try to share information, this is what we have to put up with and what we deal with is that they're basically putting the brakes on you, and so that you can't. Yeah, they don't want us to be prepared. Joan, that would not surprise me. Thank you for that statement. That would not surprise me at all. Well, again, when you look at shows like Doomsday Preppers, what light did they put preppers in, right? So first of all, they pigeonhole them to start with before the show even starts and says you have to pick one reason why you're prepping, right? So these people that wanted to be on YouTube, or not on YouTube, they wanted to be on TV, they would go, okay, right? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. And so they'll pick one reason for why they're prepping. And so then when the show comes and they showcase what they have and their preparedness and all this type of stuff, and these people have to get on and be like, I'm preparing for a Yellowstone event. And then what happens is, or I'm preparing for a financial collapse. At the end of all those shows, they were like, well, the chances of a Yellowstone event happening are this minute and small. When anybody that's really a prepper knows, you're not preparing for one event, folks. You're not preparing for one event. You're preparing for whatever might happen. Whatever might happen. Personal emergency, death in the family, all those things. That's why we prepare. That's why we do what we do. So, it's amazing to me when, and like I said, so they try to discredit these people. And they had that one idiot out there in Seattle, I think it was, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to take from other preppers." Well, he was a convicted felon that wasn't supposed to have guns, right? And here he is, he's with all the guns on him and thinking like he's a tough guy. It's just stupid, And of course, then guess what happened after that show? He got arrested and went back to jail. So and I think he was a pedophile on top of that as well. But his plan was to attack other preppers and take their stuff. That was his plan. So it's just when you're making people look stupid and when you're making people look crazy, people get turned off with the whole prepping mindset, and they don't understand. Again, yeah, he was stupid on multiple levels. Yes, exactly, exactly. Um, I think they are watching and making a list of preppers who tell people what they have to do so that they know who they're going to take things from. That again, Don. I'm going to be real clear on something here, okay? If there are groups out there that are watching prepping channels and their whole intention is to go down, will you be doing the live for members tomorrow night? I'm hoping to, Mary. I should be able to. If I don't, I will try to do a makeup for you guys on Tuesday. Okay. But right now, I plan on doing that, and I will let you know. Okay. I mean, well, let's play this again. If I'm not live tomorrow night for the hardcore preppers at 8 o'clock, there's a reason why. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, you know, anybody that their whole intention is to go after preppers after an SHTF event. Oh, you're talking about the government, Don? You know what? They got bigger fish to fry, Don. I don't honestly think that they're going to target preppers because there's just, they would be more. So here's my thought on that, Don. It would be more advantageous for them to go to a hub where supplies are shipped out, like one of Walmart's hubs, for an example, where there is a tremendous amount of food, and go, okay, we're commandeering this for the government. That would be more advantageous for them to do that, not to go after preppers, that are, prepping on a smaller scale in, yeah, or like Amazon or whatever, any Wegmans, Kroger, all their distribution centers. That's what they're going to target first, because if you control the food, you can control the people. Remember that. That's important. So, but spent the day at the hospital. They admitted my 92-year-old dad for double pneumonia. He's responding well so far. That's awesome, 80K, man. I'm glad he's doing okay so far. That's good. Yeah, and the weapon stores, right? Exactly. So they're believe me, the government is going to have their hands full with an enraged population when that time comes. I honestly don't think that they will be targeting preppers. Now, people that their game plan is to target preppers, that's kind of, I did want to address that. I think that that is a really stupid thing to do, on many, many levels, because most preppers are prepared. They're ready. They have a game plan. They know what they're going to be doing. And so to think that you're going to go in there, and just take what you want, that's a very stupid thing to do, because people will die on both sides. Um, you know, People will die on both sides, and that makes it better for no one. And it's a whole. See, the thing is, it's real easy to stand there and pound your chest. I'm a tough guy, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. It's very easy to say that, okay? But when you have rounds coming at you downrange, and they can kill you and they can reach out and touch you, it's a whole different kettle of fish, okay? It's a whole different mindset. And so, and again, if you take out the right people in that group that are coming to try to take your stuff, the other ones will decide that probably that's not a real good idea. Even the leaders of a group, you start taking out their people, they're going to get a change of attitude in a hurry, in a hurry. So, those are things to think about too. Oh, and just to be clear, I'm thinking that probably most preppers out there won't be taking prisoners. So if somebody is wounded, they won't be wounded for long. If you came to a prepper's compound with bad intentions, they're not going to help you once they have shot you. You're not going to be getting help. All the keyboard warriors better wear their brown pants. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's just, I always find it amazing. You know, like, people can talk all that tough guy stuff, online, and say whatever they want to say, and then through the years, I have said on certain occasions, if you have anything you want to say to me, come and say it to me. They already know where I am, right? They do. If anybody truly hates me, they find out, they know where you are, right? So, I always tell them, I'm here. Come see me. We'll have a conversation. Or not, you know. But that's the point is, they will never do that. They will never come and either confront you or talk to you or anything. They just want to hate you. They want to try to do anything that they can do to jam you up. So, it's all part of it. Hey, Asa, welcome, welcome. So, but yeah, we had the one storm come through already, and it wasn't very long, but man, that wind was kicking. I mean, that the trees were bending. It was that hard, and yeah, so that was going on there for a little bit, and then had a little bit of a rain pour for not very long at all, and then it stopped, and it looks like it may rain again. I don't know. If we get any more rain, it's going to be what it's going to be. So, uh, my water totes, I'll tell you where I'm at with those. I didn't go out and check after this last storm, but we did have some rain. And here, so we have not had, I want to be clear about this one too. We have not had a steady rain where like it started raining in the morning and it rained steady all day long. We haven't had that. We've had these storms that come passing through. It'll rain for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then it's gone. So, nothing where, we've had any kind of steady rain. So, have we gotten water? Yes. Have we filled up all four of the tanks? No. Well, again, the one side's not, the gutter's not on there yet. If the gutter was on there, we would have a lot more water. But and so what I'm doing right now, until we get things all set up with piping where they're all connected, okay, which we will do that eventually. What I've been doing is, as the one tank is getting rainwater in it, I have been filling the second tank. So right now, coming into like today, and I know we did get some storms today, so I don't know exactly where we're at. I had about 150 gallons in the first tank. I had 200 gallons in the second tank. So, we are getting rain a little bit here. And like I said, again, it's not, if we had a steady rain, folks, where it rained all day long, that first tank would be completely full, and I would be out there trying to get water into the second tank to, not waste the water. So I'm just trying to take care of what I can take care of as I can. And if we get a storm that comes through, then that's what I do. I do that. So we got 252 in the chat. We're at 109 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I thank you ahead of time, and I really do appreciate it. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So let's get into what the topic, I guess, which we haven't really discussed at all yet. We had other things to talk about, so that's how it goes. What did you think of President Trump's speech at the Bronx in New York City? Alex didn't see it. I really, yeah, there's a topic? Yeah, right. I don't watch, I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't watch a lot of the political stuff. Uh, Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate politics. Realistically, I think most politicians are crooked. If and I can't say all because that would be a terrible thing to say, but I'm thinking that the majority of them are. And I get tired of the BS. And you got one side bashing for this reason, the other side bashing for that reason. Now, what I do know is this, okay? In the last 4 years of the president that we have now, uh, you know, I'll give you a good example. There was a meme that I just saw the other day, which I thought was hilarious. Okay, and it said, and I feel bad for the company, but it said Red Lobster is closing 50 stores and they're filing for bankruptcy. They must not have got the memo that the economy is booming, right? Which I thought that was hilarious because our government keeps saying over and over and over again how great things are, how wonderful things are, that the economy is booming, and the average citizen is not seeing that. Okay, the average American is not seeing it. Now I know back in New York where I was at, there were three Red Lobsters. One was in Buffalo, one was in Henrietta, and the other one was up in Greece. And they closed two of them. The one in Greece is still open, but the other two, they closed those other two Red Lobsters. So, not good at all. So, I mean, what I know over the last 4 years of this president that's in there now, taxes are up for most people, right? Your property assessments are being increased, so they're taxing us more that way. Gas prices are almost double, if not double, from where they were in a lot of cases from 4 years ago. Food prices are up exponentially. Propane and heating oil is up. So, and yeah, this is the best economy in history. Yeah, right. Sure it is. And it's just, and it's just, they can say lie after lie after lie, and they're really never called out on it. They're really not. Like after a speech is over, you may see a blurb here and there. Fact checker said, this was said and this was said and this wasn't true. It's just, but they're all like that, folks. And not all. I got to not say all. Most of those politicians like. So I don't watch any of that crap. I really don't, because at the end of the day, the reality is we're all going to get screwed no matter who's in power. That's the reality. It isn't going to get better. It's only going to get worse. So, but all right. So let me get a hit of this real quick. All right. So, how much time do we have? Let's talk about time. And I've had this conversation with a lot of my group members. And I honestly, I don't make predictions. I really don't. I just pay attention to what's going on. Things are getting bad when a restaurant starts charging for catch. Happened to me and my family yesterday. Wow. Yeah, that is not good. That's not good at all. Um, so, a lot of conversations as a group, we've been talking. And th- again, you can't pinpoint it down and say it's going to be this thing. This is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be. You know, hey, I just opened my T2, but mine is twisted. Oh, nothing wrong with that, 80K man. Nothing wrong with that. Um, I so I'm gonna what I'm gonna share with you is my most likely scenario. We'll do it that way. Does that sound fair? What I see is a real possibility happening when you have the government is continuously warning that there may be multiple attacks within inside the United States from foreign or whoever, right? Whoever wanting to do us harm. So they've been talking about that for quite a bit now. Okay. And they've been putting that out there. Now, what they're not telling you is, man, this could happen, folks. So you need to be ready for it. You need to stock up on food and water and all that type of stuff. You know, but my biggest thing with that is it really going to be foreign actors, or could it be inside agitators from our own government? That is a possibility. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be, but it would not shock me. It's just like when up in Canada. I'll give you a good example. And you had the trucking protesters, which were very peaceful, by the way. Okay, so what does Trudeau pick out? Well, did you see that one guy over there had the Nazi flag? What, one guy in a sea of 100,000 or better people, right? But could that have been somebody from the Canadian government being told go out there and run this flag up? It very well could be. Okay, when you had the different protests happen here, were there agitators in the crowd? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the government did admit that there were people in the crowd, government officials. I don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I did believe I read that somewhere. Okay. So again, what I believe is I think we have between now and probably the election, and then what will Ed would And what would have happened to make you let everyone? What would have happened to let everyone come and live on the property full time? Well, obviously it would be an SHTF event, beef and chicken. That's obviously would be that everybody you know gets down here. What level of SHTF? I mean, that's going to depend on what's going on. To be honest with you, so here I'll give you a good example, beef and chicken. I'll give you good. Hold on. If Biden wins, then there will be a grid down situation. If Trump wins, then Joe Biden will deny vote was correct and enhance martial law and no Trump. Okay, that's not a bad point, but I'm going to go a little bit better with that. Asif, thank you for that statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. But going back to at what level would I let people come down here? If we felt something was amping up and my members called me and said, hey, can we come down? Yes, come down. Get down here. All right. they stay a week, 10 days, and nothing happens, and they decide, hey, I'm going to go back home, then go ahead, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that in any way, shape, or form. I would rather have the people here, and then if something went down, then they're already here, than trying to, after things were complete chaos, trying to figure out how they're going to get down here. So it's there. I never have a problem with anybody coming early and it being a false alarm, because here's a couple things with a false alarm. All right, you realize what mistakes you made, and you also figure out what you left behind or what you needed once you got here. Holy crap, I needed this, or holy crap, I should have brought that. Those are good runs. Those are good lessons to learn, and I think that those are really important. So, but and here's the thing, folks: we are all going to forget things. There's going to be things that even as preppers, there will be areas where we're weak and we go, crap. Uh, yeah, right. You know what's going down when I call Heather and tell her to get down here now. Yeah. Oh yeah. And she knows that. She knows that I'm going to do that. She already knows. I said, you don't even question it. If I tell you get your butt down here, you get your butt down here. So that's absolutely. But anyway, so this is the most likely scenario. Now, Asif had put up there what he had thought. I feel like Trump will probably win this election. Okay. I honestly think that Trump's going to win this election. Now, when that happens, we have from November 6th, 7th, whatever, they count all the votes and okay, yep, this is it, to January 21st. What I believe which would happen, which would not shock me, because again, what was one of the things that I've already said to you guys in the past? If I was going to attack this country and cause the most amount of casualties possible, I would do it in the winter time. Okay. So you have the election. I believe what you will see happen after that, if Trump wins this election, I believe that you will see a grid down situation blamed on whoever. Okay. Pick your poison. It was North Korea. It was China. It was Russia. It was this guy. It was Iran, whoever. Okay. It could also be with inside of our own government, which would not shock me. I'm telling you, it would not shock me. Okay. Once that would happen and the grid went down or the grid was attacked, right? And so there's this major attack on the grid and power's out. Power's not coming back on for an extended period of time because, once again, if you guys remember, those massive transformers that they take years to make and get them here, okay? So you don't have to necessarily attack them, but what would happen is now the government could enact martial law to keep things under control, to keep people safe, right? Well, once martial law is enacted, the Constitution is suspended, so there'll be no protest and squat because you'll get your butt arrested. And at the same time, no transfer of power. So then Biden could stay in power. So that is, to me, the most likely scenario that could happen. Now, could it be 100 other things? Absolutely, yes, it could be. Could they attack our water? Think about that, folks. Think about that. I mean, I'll give you a good example. All right, I'll give you a good example. Rochester, New York. Up on this hill, on top of the hill, is the reservoir. Okay, it's got a fence around it, very nice fence around it. No barbed wire, none of that type of stuff. That's where the city's water is. It's a big a huge open area. Okay, you can walk all around there. It's in the park. Walk all around there, but they have the fencing around there. They found a body in there, you know. So they had to go in, fish the body out, and stuff like that. You could have an attack on that water area that would affect a whole bunch of people, very very easy. And if all communications go down, how does Heather already know to go down? Oh yeah, JJ. Oh yeah, we've talked, and I said, if the internet's out, your phones are out, any of that type of stuff, I go, you just get here. Yeah, no, she already knows all of that, and she knows that if she gets here, she'll be safe, and that's that's yeah, that's really really important. So, but anyway, that is the most, for me personally, I believe that's the most likely scenario. And it could happen before the election. I mean, it could happen, like I said. But again, if something goes down in the wintertime, I think the people really in our country, honestly, don't get the magnitude of what a grid down situation would look like in this country, because everything is on the grid. You go to any store now, any store, okay, it's all rung up with a scanner. You scan everything. Like you go to Walmart, you go to any of your grocery stores, they're not ringing things in individually. They're scanning it. So if the power goes out, those registers are not even opening, folks. They're not going to even open. So when the grid goes down, to the bug out location immediately. Do not wait for the grid lock. Yes, when the grid goes down, get to your bug out locations immediately. That would be my thing. And if you're bugging in, make sure that you got your plywood, all that stuff you need to do to box in your home to keep you safe, as much as you can ahead of time. So, you know, honestly, for our group, one of the first things that we would be doing down here is putting in more defensive positions. Absolutely, most important thing. Hopefully, we have before then. That's the game plan. That's what we're working on. That's why, um, getting, like, when we had our get together in January, and I had said what we need to focus on this year is rain catchment, getting the rain catchment in, getting it set up, and getting it prepared like that. That was, to me, was paramount, the most important thing, because again, water is life. And so, yeah, do we have a spring over there? Do we have a spring over here? Now, thank goodness, when we had the excavator guy come in, we dug out that spring over there, which was huge, folks. To me, it was huge because now we don't have to go in there after SHTF and have a bunch of us trying to dig that out and make it better. It's already done. You know what I mean? So that was a big thing as well. We also have the well, so we have other options. But if we already have 7,000 to 8,000 gallons of water ready to go, and then just waiting on the next rain to come and fill the tanks up again, that's huge. That is huge. So, um, again, we're so reliant on the grid. To go to the gas station and get gas, you got to be able to get on the grid to do it. It's all electronic. So now, could you go out into the parking lot and pull the things off and siphon the gas out of there? Yes, but that gas will not be there very long, because that's going to be a lot of people's plan. All right. I mean, the people that are actually shrewd and thinking ahead, they're going to be on that type of stuff right away, realizing, holy crap, we don't have enough of this type of stuff. And that's like one of the reasons, like I've said to Heather, okay, make sure you have, um, your, extra gas cans, because you may need to have them. I think she can make it with her car in one trip, but that's under, again, optimal conditions, so, it's, and I'm already living under martial law curfew, rocket alerts, and strikes, and now scheduled power outages, up to 8 hours a day through the summer and possibly into the winter. Preps are critical here. Where are you at, John? Where are you at? You got to let us know in the comments where you're at. So, again, no power means the trucks aren't running, mean food's not getting to you. Okay, the trains aren't running, no food is getting to you. No other supplies are getting to you. Whatever's in those stores, um, he's in Ukraine. Okay, all right. Yeah, well then, yeah, you're already dealing with that. Yeah. So, Again, you know, no food, no supplies, no gasoline, no nothing. Power grid goes down, it is going to be complete and utter panic, chaos, fear. Because again, and I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this to you guys. 95% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2 week disaster. In my lifetime, we have not suffered in this country. In my entire lifetime, we've always had, like, you think about after World War II, so we can even go back that far. World War II ends, and then from 1945 to now, we have not been under real duress in this country. We've gone off and fought foreign wars. Yes, we've had soldiers, um, make sacrifices that way, and people injured and killed and stuff like that. But it hasn't been domestically. We haven't suffered here. Nobody's blowing up our buildings. Nobody's doing different things like that on any kind of larger scale. So, again, you know, we have not been through anything. So we're soft. As a country, we're soft. And, if you have people from countries where realistically, if you look at the Middle East, they've been fighting for thousands of years. When do you think World War III will start and where? That's a hard thing to know, to be honest with you. So, okay, so here's another scenario that wouldn't shock me. Okay, now I'll put this one out here too. Power grid goes down. Now we got our hands full with the grid down situation right here in America. Okay, absolutely would have our hands full, because what they would have to do, they would set up areas, where there would be power, so that for doctors, nurses, all that type of stuff, so people could go there. Because I want you to think about on a I want you to think on a daily basis, how many people go to your local hospitals? I mean, you probably don't have any idea, because you really don't pay attention to it, because it doesn't affect you. Okay, I mean, that's a reality. But the reality is, in a situation like that, and the grid would be down for any length of time, people are still going to need to be helped and taken care of. So they're going to have to go somewhere. So the United States, we would have our hands full. In that situation, what does China do then? They go, oh, no backup for Taiwan, we're taking Taiwan. No backup for the Philippines, we're going to bully the Philippines. We're going to bully Vietnam. This is all our area now. There's nothing you can do about it. And there wouldn't be. They wouldn't be able to do anything about it, because they just wouldn't have us, to be honest with you, to back them up. Okay. And that's the reality of it, because we would have our hands full. So, like I said, again, a grid down situation is the most plausible thing, most likely, easiest to do, honestly. Our grid is not hardened as it should be. It is very, very antiquated. We have three grids, guys. We have the East Coast, we have the West Coast, and then there's Texas. Texas has its own individual grid. But you guys saw what one ice storm in Texas did to that area, right? Was their plumbing squared away? Was it, the way we would have it in the north? No, because they don't generally get that type of a situation. So you had burst pipes everywhere. The wind turbines were frozen up; they weren't running. So all that extra power that they're getting from those type of things were not happening. And again, that's the other part of it that I think a lot of people fail to grasp. So just because SHTF happens, right? So here it is, SHTF has happened. We're in this nightmare scenario, and guess what? Natural disasters are going to continue to happen. But the other thing is, nobody's coming to save the day at that point, because they can't, or the resources aren't there. The resources are allocated elsewhere. So when that hurricane comes in and hits Texas or hits Louisiana or Florida or wherever the case may be, first of all, they're not going to know it's coming, right? How would they know it's coming? There's no weather channel to say, hey, batten down the hatches, we got this big old storm coming in, right? So they have no idea that that's coming. Tornadoes are still going to happen. You look what's going on right now. Right now, as we're sitting here talking, the tornadoes that are happening and the damage is being done with the tornadoes. Now think about, will your water tanks freeze in the winter? They haven't in the past. The one over behind the now in New York, my water tank in New York froze solid every single winter. But the winters down here are not cold enough or long enough for those tanks to freeze. Because I know that with my tank behind the battery room, that never froze last winter or the winter before. So now, if we had a extended period of time where it was sub-zero temperatures and it was really, really cold, then yes, there's a real possibility that they would freeze. But up to this point, no. So just sharing that with you. So, but again, guys, it's like being as ready as you can be, because the only person realistically that you are going to be able to rely on is yourselves, your families. And if your families are doing nothing to prepare, it's on you. And then you have to make a decision. Is there enough snow to melt as backup for water where you are in the winter? We like this winter that we just had, we maybe got 20 inches of snow total, and that basically came in two back-to-back storms. Most of it, we got like 8 inches in one storm, and then a couple days later we had like 6 inches, and then within a few days, because the sun's coming out and stuff like that, it was all gone. So it wasn't. I mean, within a week, I think it was all gone. So that's not really going to be something that's going to work down here. Now, we're just. I'm that far enough south where that's not going to happen. Oh, egg count. Okay, yep. Sorry, guys, getting ahead of myself. So again, real quick before we do the egg count, which don't start yet, we got 314 in the chat. We're at 182 on the thumbs up. Please shoot a thumbs up if you have not yet, and thank you very much for that ahead of time. I really do appreciate it. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So thank you again for that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time for that as well. All right. How many eggs today? And did Betty White lay also today? So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in. And we will go from there. All right. If you had yes as Asif with 4 eggs today, and yes for Miss Betty White, then you are correct. So congratulations to Asif. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. So, but yeah, they just the one hen, Wheezy, she's getting bullied. She's getting bullied pretty hard. So she's definitely the low man on the totem pole, and I don't think she's laying as often as she was. See, I won nothing, and I'm extremely happy. There we go. See, there, that's perfect. Um, so anyway, what was I going to say to you guys? Oh, here we go again. What? What? I'm busy. No, I don't care. Oh, when I don't have a shirt on, that hurts on bare skin with your nails, miss. Yes, with your nails on the bare skin, that hurts. Uh-huh. All right. All right, baby. Come on. Down you go. Go on now. I love you. You're a good girl. Uh, yeah, I need a rooster named Meathead to come and protect her. That's too funny. No, down. No, no, no more. Stay. Stop. All right. So again, when I talk about these different things, my intention is not to scare you. It's not about trying to scare you. It's trying to help you to be proactive to help yourselves. That's what I think is important. I think it's really, really. Here in New York, we only have 3 months of summer to prepare. Yeah, no kidding, Isaac. Why do you think I left? Part of the reason. But I had somebody in a comment made a comment of, I think your New York property was much better, than where you're at now. I don't even know how you could make that statement. I had 3 acres in New York, 3. Yes, over 8 years, did I do a lot of stuff on that property? Yes, I did. Okay. But down here, I have 25 acres. I'm in the middle of the woods. I don't have neighbors right next to me. Nobody's close at all. And, it's a better situation overall. Just the taxes makes it better. Just the taxes make it better. So it's just, when people say that, they're not looking at the big picture of things, or looking at everything, that way. So that is what it is. But so anyway, but yeah, it's like I said, putting yourself in a situation where you're as ready as you can be. Does it take a tremendous amount of money? Not really. To give yourself that advantage over 95% of the people, it's 2 weeks worth of food, 2 weeks worth of water. That's it. 1 gallon of water per person per day. So if you got a family of five, right? 5 gallons of water a day. And then just look at it like that, you know? So, okay, so 2 weeks, you're looking 5 times 7 or 5 times 14, right? So 5 times 7 is what, 35 gallons? So 70 gallons of water. How hard is that to put that away? You can go to the store and buy water in a gallon jugs and take the cases and put them aside, and it's not that expensive. So, do you plan to have a greenhouse similar to what you had in New York? Not the same as I had in New York, Lori. No. Probably going to go more with like a high tunnel greenhouse. That's going to be the game plan for that. There's other things, like I said, this year we're focusing on other things right now, other than gardening, to be honest with you. We're getting some areas ready. We will continue to get areas ready. But yeah, it's, 2 weeks worth of power fuel. That's a good, yeah, John, that's very, very smart. Thank you. That's a good statement. Yeah. And honestly, that's one of the things that I've always tried to do. I keep, just, but I keep 500 gallons of propane on hand. It's actually a little more than that. I have a little more than 500 gallons of propane. I try to keep as much gas as I can. I probably right now down here, and this is not counting the other group members that also have gas down here. Okay, I probably have, as a group, we have probably 70 gallons of gas. And then for me personally, that I use for the generator, lawnmowers, and stuff like that, I have about 22 gallons more on top of that. And then, the other group members also have gas down here as well. So obviously, when that time comes, all that would be treated with Stabilies. We would also look at, very rationing. We wouldn't be all running generators until it ran out. Yep, still riding my bike. I was actually out a couple days ago. I got out on the bike and rode. So 80K man says I rotate about 35 gallons. Yeah, but 30, realistically, that's not going to last long when the time comes. And yet rotation is also key. Every 6 months, you need to rotate that gas out. So that is important as well. Actually, the gas that we have right now, when we do our next get together, I want to let everybody know, come with empty tanks, because they'll basically buy the gas that we have, and then I'll take that money and go fill those gas cans back up. We need to make sure we're doing that. So, that's working with solar. Okay. Yeah, but again, there's always going to be a need for gasoline. My biggest thing with gasoline after an SHTF situation would be more along the lines of running chainsaws. Realistically, that's why I would be doing that. That gas would be to cut down as much dead wood as we could, buck it up, and then we split it by hand. Get stocked up, because you gotta understand. Okay, so right now we got the pavilion. We have the wolf layer over here. Dave's got his place, so there's three. Johnson's got his, that's four. We got uh, Rob's got his is five, and then Bud's got his is six. So there's six, and then we also have the wolf's layer, or I mean, the big blue house. So there's seven. Right now we have, and then we got Marks, so there's 8. Like, so we have 8 buildings on site right now. We're going to have 3 more coming in soon. Okay, and so that will take us up to 11 buildings on the property. Now, you're talking about 11 places that all need wood stoves, that are all going to need a decent supply of wood, because again, in a true SHTF situation, you want to have those things in place. You want to have those things ready to go. So like when we like processed a bunch of wood last year, that wood's all under the it's all here. It's ready to go. We've used some for in the pavilion, but right now there's only 2 buildings that have functioning wood stoves right now, and that would be Mark's Place and the pavilion right now. Other people are going to be getting their stuff set up as well. But again, before the snow flies this year, later this year, I'm hoping that we have a lot more wood stoves set up and ready to go. Now I have 2 other wood stoves on site that could be utilized. And obviously, SHTF happens, we're going to be looking at what's the biggest building and how many people we can fit in it. You know what I mean? And isn't propane more unstable than gas for storage? Any recommendations? No, propane will last forever, Lori. Propane is a good one to have. So, yeah. But, that is, propane it'll last indefinitely. You don't have to worry about it. Once it's stored in the tank, it's there. So, but I got 19 months of storage time with non-ethanol gas, no issues in small engines. There you go. All right. Yep. What I have is I have the Stabilize already on site here. That when the time comes, whatever gas that I do have here, I would treat it then. Right now, what I do is the gas gets rotated every 6 months, and as long as you're doing that on a consistent basis, you're not going to have any problems. So. But that's the game plan. You know, again, as soon as SHTF happens, then everything, an inventory, whatever supplies we had here would be done on everything, and then we have to make decisions on what we're doing, how we're doing it, where we're going to go. Where we're going to be building defensive positions. What are we going to do for booby traps? All that type of stuff. You want to make it not pleasant for people to try to come in and cause you problems. And then if you can channel them into a certain area, that's the way that you need to do it. But again, preparedness is insurance. You're hedging your bets. You're putting yourself in a situation, which I think is really important, that you're not relying. Everything eventually runs out. You're right. That's what, and that's a great statement. I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to talk about that. You're right. You're 100% right. Eventually, everything will run out. That's correct. But if I have enough stuff and prepared enough that we could be comfortable, not living fat on the hog, but comfortable during that transition. Okay. So I want you to think about that. The transition of what we eat now and how we eat and all the stuff that we do, to now there's no more stores. You're going to have what you have and you got what you got, to when you're going to be able to be more self-sustaining, growing your gardens, gathering wild edibles, doing what you got to do. If you can hunt, if there's anything to hunt, doing all those type of things. The supplies are a stopgap to help you get through that until you've adjusted and you can do what you got to do to survive. I would rather have a ton of supplies on hand and not have to worry about, oh my God, where's my next meal coming from right now? Now, would food be a priority? Yes, 100%. As soon as we got into a fall period, we would be harvesting as much fruit and things that we could do. We would have gardens all over the place. We would try to be doing greenhouses so we could start earlier, and also in growing your winter crops. Your kale and your cabbage that are more hardy in the wintertime, that are going to do okay, and you can grow them. So you could literally grow, especially down here, probably year round. Okay. because if you have a greenhouse, you're going to be able to do certain things. Now, you're not going to be growing the other stuff that's, that needs it to be warmer and stuff like that. But there are cold, hardy vegetables that you can grow. So again, familiarize yourself with these things. Figure these things out now. Now is the time. Right now, folks, is not life and death. The minute that balloon goes up, now it's life and death. So again, where do you want to be? What side of the fence do you want to be on when that time comes? Do you want to be Chicken Little, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, not knowing what to do, where to go, what supplies do I have, or just not being ready at all? And then trying to rely on a government that is pulled so thin that they're not going to be able to help people? I don't want to be on that side of the fence. I want to be on a side of the fence where I go, screw you, government. I'm good. Leave me alone. I'm going to take care of me and mine. That's where I want to be. That's why, again, and I've talked about this so many times, folks, a group is so important, because many hands make light work. How many times have you heard that one growing up, right? More people working on a project, it goes quicker, it goes easier. Safety in numbers. If somebody gets sick, you're going to be able to allot them the time that they're going to need to recover. They're going to need time to recover. So, if it's you, your wife, and a couple of kids, and you get sick, who's picking up that slack? There's nobody picking up that slack. So who gets the stuff done? Because you can't, because you're sick, you're down, you're out of commission. So who's there to help you? If you have a group, everybody's not going to get sick. And if you're spread out enough and you have enough buildings and places for people to sleep where everybody's not sleeping in the same house or whatever, that's important. Because when you have everybody in the same house and sickness hits, it's going to run through it like it's going to be like wildfire. That's what it's going to be. So again, if you have a whole bunch of places and then you have a place that you have designated, this is where anybody that's sick, this is where they go. That's the recovery. That's the hospital, if you will. Okay. Those things really need to be thought out. You got to plan them out. You really do. Because if you don't, again, what does ADK Man say all the time? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Says it all the time, and it's 100% true. So if you're not doing something about being proactive, and it doesn't have to cost you a ton of money. Books, library books, get research, figure stuff out, make copies. There's a ton of information on the internet that you can get, that you can download, put it into a zip file. It's all there. Because I'm going to tell you this, when SHTF happens, you're going to have a whole lot of time then. A whole lot of time. All right, I know we got to do shout outs and I'm behind, and that's okay. So before we start doing shout outs, we got 278 in the chat. We got 210 on the thumbs up, folks. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. Also, it makes a real big difference with the algorithm, so the more interaction, the better off we're going to be with the channel. It puts us up higher in rankings, so I do appreciate it for that as well. Good night, Asif. Have a good night. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, we'll start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead, growing giant vegetables. Ryan's a good guy. Definitely check him out. We have Icky Can up in Canada doing his thing up there. Real good guy as well. Ed, you should print out as much as you can. Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe so too. Icky's a good guy living off grid up in Canada, 3 hours north of Toronto. So he is well north. You have Angry Prepper Jason down in New York City. Jason's a real good guy as well. Definitely check out his channel. There is Alaska Prepper. That is Rudy doing his thing up in Alaska, really down to earth as well. So definitely check him out. You have Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel. And there's also My Self-Reliance. 2 different channels, same guy. A lot of good information up in Canada, living off grid, master builder. Amazing to watch him build and do the things that he does. Really interesting. You have Demcad. I like him a lot as well. A lot of good information with his channel. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks of New York. There is Bizariza doing the Carrington Chronicles, a really interesting story there. Definitely check that out as well. You have Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out there. Really good guys as well. There's Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wranglestar. Wranglestar's got a really good channel, a lot of good information on that channel as well. So definitely check him out as well. There is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily coming at us from across the pond in Europe. She's been down, folks. She is sick. She's been in the hospital, so she's going through a lot of stuff right now. So definitely needs our support. You have Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up in Minnesota. Nice young couple. The first child is on the way, so that's pretty cool as well. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team, two different channels, real good people. Definitely check them out as well. Let's see. You have Green Greg's. There's also Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. Really interesting to watch him as well. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy's another channel that's been around a long time. Real good people. Definitely worth a listen to. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there doing their thing. Really interesting as well. The Green Dream Project out in Arizona. Doing their thing out in Arizona, showing you what it takes to live in the desert. I find them really interesting. Camping with Steve. Steve Wallace doing stealth camping up in Canada. Fun guy to watch, very entertaining. There is Bush Doctor Survival. We have Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. Her channel's been around a long time as well. Real good people there. You have Boss of the Swamp, another master builder. It's amazing to watch him build stuff. Very, very skilled. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch project. Diamond is a real smart guy. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, definitely check him out on his channel. Really worth it. So, Green Greg is on the road moving stuff to Arizona. Yep. No, I know he's in the process. Let's see, where were we? Patera with the Appalachia Homestead. Very straight shooter, very down to earth. I like her channel quite a bit. There is City Prepper. You have Illumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, giving you all the latest information of what's going on with the solar flares and the sun. Really, really interesting there as well. Let's see. Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. We have Bushcraft Bear from the Canary Islands of La Palma. Really good guy as well. Mary Greeley News. Mary Greeley's a really interesting lady. A lot of good information. Her focus is on Yellowstone quite a bit, but a lot of good information from her channel. Let's see. We have Adapt 2030. There is Truth Be Told with Tara. If you're going to get your weather, folks, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall is very passionate about the weather, but a really good guy. Raises money to help people in those areas that have had disasters. A lot of respect for him. There is Russell Brand. Russell Brand is another one too. He gives you the information and lets you decide what you want to do with it. I like that. And plus, he pissed off two governments. So, what can you not like about that, right? I'm talking about the UK government and the US government. Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel. Definitely worth to listen to as well. You have The Outsider. You have Betting on Alaska. Young Man is the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Definitely worth listening to. Nice young man. Great voice for radio. Unbelievable voice for that. You never know the kid was 18 years old. Let's see. We have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. You have Simple Life Reclaimed. Then there is Townsend's. Townsend's is showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. I think it makes a lot of sense to pay attention to that. You have The Prepared Mind. There is Pinball Preparedness. You have Tennessee Preparedness. There is the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off-Gridding. A lot of good channels out there, folks. A lot of good information. I do believe we should be supporting each other. I know you guys have other channels that you put in the chat, and that's perfectly fine. And so definitely, we should be supporting each other. That's just my take on it. That's why I do the shout outs. I saw people were talking about maps in the chat and how most people nowadays can't even read a map, which is true, which is sad, but it's true. The biggest thing with maps, I think that they should be laminated. Get maps, get them laminated so that if it rains, it don't make a difference. You just pull it out of your pack, you get your map, and you can figure out what you, excuse me, what you need to do. It's good to know alternate routes. That is important. You may not be able to go the way that you hope to go. Now, you may try to go that way, but you might get jammed up and you may have to abandon your vehicle and then you may have to set out on foot, okay? Or if you have bikes that you have on there, you may have to end up doing it by bicycle. You can make a lot more time on a bicycle than you can on foot. And you could have something that you're dragging behind a bike to have extra supplies in there as well. So, just some things to think about. Knowing where you want to go, what you want to do, knowing your location, knowing the area around you, I think is important as well. Know your landscape, within a radius of where you're at. Like I said again, but an atlas is good. Yep, no, an atlas is great, Lori. But again, I would take pages out and I would laminate them. Absolutely laminate them. I have maps and stuff like that, and a compass absolutely can help and keep you steered in the right direction because you can get turned around in the woods if that absolutely does happen. But again, but again, how many people know how to read a compass even? It's crazy. Um, the reliability on technology is so strong now that people don't think about those type of things. And so you really have to, because if the grid goes down, your phone ain't working. And all that useful, wonderful information that's in your phone, like MapQuest and all that other stuff, that's out the window. And you're going to need to know, where do I got to go? How do I got to go there? Um, you know, and all those type of things. You really got to be ready. So you can buy a laminated trucker's atlas at a truck stop, but they're not cheap. Oh, that's good information, Okie Forge. Thank you. Yep, very good information. Oh, that's good. My daughter can read a topo map and she knows how to read a map. That's good. That's really, really good. So, but again, the key, in my opinion, okay, at the first sign of trouble, if you think there may be trouble, if you think something may be going down, get out of Dodge if you have a bug out location. Get there as soon as you possibly can. That would always be my advice to you guys, because I think that is imperative, because you don't want to wait. Well, I'll wait. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It could be too late then. Ed, I have enough young kids ask me how I found my way around without a GPS. I believe it. I believe it, Delbert. Hey, I did maps for years and years and years. Always kept them in the car. So it's weird though. So for me, once I've been someplace once, I could probably never tell you the name of roads, but I can get back there. I know exactly where I gotta go. Just gotta go there once. I've been there once. I can always get back there. Again, I may not know the name of roads, but I know where it is. All right, let's do this, folks. We are Legion. We are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge network of people. Where is everybody from tonight? So, what part of the world are you at? We got Rhonda's in Dayton, Ohio. North Highlands of California with Lori. We got Connecticut with T. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. UP of Michigan with Dawn. BC, Canada with Janet. Palatica, Idaho with Janita. Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. The UK with JoJo. Thanks for staying up late with us. Central Iowa with Robert. Central Virginia with Janet. Trenton, Florida. We have Bay Area, California with Chris. We got Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert. Ontario, Canada with Dave. East Central Illinois with Ranger. Western North Carolina with Lamb's Light. Up in the mountains. Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Sam is here from the UK and Scotland. Again, thank you for staying up late with us. Northwest Oregon with Milk and Honey. Pacific Northwest with Tess. If I could speak, it would help. Greeley County, Arizona with Codster, Southern Connecticut with Bob, Newton, Connecticut with RTL, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania with Sasha, Central New York with Village Homestead, West Central Ohio with Dale, Mount Vernon, New York with Isaac, Northern Virginia with Tim, Washington State with Colleen, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. We have Copper County, Missouri with Gloria. So, again, folks, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. Western New York, spending time off-grid cabin in Pennsylvania. Karen, oh, that's cool. That's cool. We are a huge network of people. We are truly, Sean the Englishman, Canada. Very nice. So we're a family. We're a huge network. Monroe County in West Virginia with Troy. Middle of Michigan with Whispering Pines. We're the ones that can make a difference now by trying to educate, wake people up if we can. The more people, the less victims there will be when the time comes. Also, that's important. And then afterwards, we got Critter Lover coming at us from Virginia. After an event, people are going to be much more receptive. They're going to be much more willing to listen, which is a good thing. So, like I said, folks, just do the best you can. If you do a little bit, that's better than doing nothing at all. And you are going to be in a better position than most people. And you will be appreciative of the fact that you did something instead of just sit on your hands. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. You have to help yourself. That is the key. So, anyway, uh, so what was I going to say? I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. They're amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen who moderate for me, thank you very much for your time. It's very, very much appreciated. I want to thank all you guys for also being here, being part of the chat, joining us when we do this. It's a lot of fun, and I do enjoy these chats. So just, take care of your business, and you're going to be just fine. We got Morning Light coming at us out of West Virginia. So, but get a barometer so you know when a storm is coming. That's good advice. Really good advice. So, but guys, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we will be in much better shape. I wish we could come together as humans, but they're keeping us divided all the time with race, religion, political affiliation. It's all nonsense. None of it means anything. We have to come together to work together. Also, remember, guys, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person stopping you from achieving your goals is you. If you set realistic goals that you can make, you can do it. You just got to work at it, and you'll be just fine. Stay away from negative people telling you what you cannot accomplish because they don't make a difference. And then when you make that goal, what can they say? They can say nothing. So be safe, everybody. Have a good holiday weekend. Remember what it's really all about. Think of the veterans. If you know anybody that is sacrificed, thank them. All right. So, but enjoy Heather's doing good. No, Heather's doing really good. So be safe. I will talk to you all later. Preparedness 1 out for now.